Hey folks, how's it going? I got looped in there on the little training wheel. Welcome to the Retro Cartoon Rewatch with your boy Damian G, joined by Hoekage 22, aka Shane, aka my ride or die, aka my pseudo nephew, for another rendition of the Retro, where typically we take cartoons from back in the day and we let you know whether or not they suck. And for the last about month now, we have been covering Dragon Ball Z Abridged by Team 4 Star, uh, talking about the comparisons to, wow, this really did not age well, or remember, kids, this was 15 years ago, things of that nature. So before we get started, Hokage, let people know what your thoughts are so far on what we've been doing with this show, or while we watch this.
Gotcha. So far, like I said multiple times while we do this, I'm having a blast because you and I love this show so much.
Correct.
But seeing how it's aged at the early stages of the show makes you kind of cringe a little bit because of how like bad the audio quality is, how bad some of the writing and jokes are. But seeing it grow and
Yeah.
start to get its footing, it's very entertaining and it's a lot of fun, especially last episode.
What do you mean?
But because last episode was the huge wrestling promo, that
Right.
stuff was a lot of fun. And so I'm enjoying it. My thoughts on it so far is that I just love to see. I mean, we've already seen all of it if
Right.
people who aren't aware of this, but I like to see the progression just slowly build up more until we get to season 3.
I can't really argue with that. We even said, "Oh, let's just get up to episode 20 and see where it takes us." At that point, and we got to the, the episode, the one that I wanted to get to, the one I was like, "That's my comfort episode." And if you want to rewatch that, go back on the youtube.com/Damian G Reviews, or on my Twitch, twitch.tv/Damian G Show. But let's get ready to delve into episode 21 of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, because we find out about Birder as to whether or not he's the fastest in the universe.
The following is a non-profit fan-based parody. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT are all owned by Funimation, Toei Animation, Fuji TV, and Akira Toriyama. Please support the official release. Yes, best time!
So you think?
Finally, I'm on planet Namek.
Help!
So serene.
Oh God, he's killing us! Help!
I think I hear a duck, but this far out in space? That doesn't make any sense.
What?
Oh no,
All right.
that sounds like
Hold on.
crime.
We gotta pause it. You know what time it is.
He's early.
The running gag that is Wade Ilson, aka my boy Huge. For those that don't know, I've known Huge for about 8 years now. Love you too, brother. Hokage, do you know the story?
I didn't think he told me.
Okay, so I know Wade because he used to follow a podcast that back before everybody and their mama had a podcast, right? I was one of the OGs back in 2015, 2016, around that place, that actually had a podcast, a successful podcast that had a Patreon, all that good stuff, right? I was getting paid. I was a wrestling thing. I had it with a former co-host. So I believe my work in the wrestling world is where Wade knows me from originally. And, he actually used to be a patron on the Patreon way back when. And we've been friends ever since. But the funny part was October 2017 was the first time we met in person. And you want to know how Wade found me? Of all places, at Comic-Con,
How?
he heard my voice and he found me.
I mean, it's probably the best way that you can find somebody is to recognize their voice if you are like a patron of a podcast.
Right.
which means he was a huge fan.
Yeah, he's day one. Like when people make the joke about day one, like no, Wade's been day one from jump. And the funny part about it is that every time we run into each other, so Hoekage, I moved to Texas. This is year number 7, I believe, that now I'm in Texas. 9/21. Yeah, year number 7. And every time him and I link up, either I go back to New York, the East Coast, or when WrestleMania was here a couple years ago and he wound up flying out here for WrestleMania, we always do a buddy cop pose, back to back, like it's a weird Fox buddy cop show that's not going to get released. The first one we have together, and I'll show it to you off air. The first one we have together, and Wade can laugh about this. I am wearing at Comic-Con a Kane, not Ben Reilly, a Kane red and black Spider-Man Zentai suit, fitting in all the places, bro. Fitting in all the places. I'm looking like a real life Ginyu Force member at that point. So there's a buddy cop thing there. Then we took a buddy cop photo at exactly jacked. Wade says jacked. Yeah. Back then, kids, I was a lot more jacked than I am now. I'm getting back to it, but I was a little bit more jacked back then. And I was swole essentially. And I went back to New York, not even maybe about 6 months later. And there was a wrestling show, Battle Club Pro, which is owned and operated by my friend and family member, Joakim Morales, going over to XO Battle Club XO on all your social medias. They are a homegrown, all accepting in terms of all are welcome. The LGBTQAI community is welcome there. And he has a wrestling school in Queens. And we met at that show again. We ran into each other at another show and we did the buddy cop one. And I forgot one, Wade, the one before I moved when Melissa went with me to the one in Jersey when Lou was here, that you took Lou to his first show. So 3 times in the span of 4 years, Wade and I have met up and done a buddy cop picture at a wrestling show. And then it culminated a couple years ago, exactly 3 times. It culminated again when he was here for WrestleMania. I got to meet his lovely wife. It was a whole beautiful thing. I was running around the stadium looking for him. We did the whole bro hug, like we chopped it up, and we took our buddy cop photo. So every time I run into Wade, we have to do the Lethal Weapon buddy cop pose. So for all of you who may watch this on the replay, who might be wondering who the fuck Wade is, he is literally one of the best people I have ever met in my entire existence. Best heart, loving human being, just cares about, but don't fuck with him. Like in true East Coast fashion, because he's from Jersey, true East Coast fashion, we're nice to a point. We're kind, we're good. But you try your luck. That's your ass, Mr. Postman. So I will say Wade is that dude. So kudos to Wade. Brother, I love you. I give you shit about dad jokes because he's been doing dad jokes since I met him. This ain't new. It's not just relegated to this show. Been doing dad jokes. Back when I was doing stuff with Sarah Hoekage.
Damn.
Back when I first started the Retro Cartoon Rewatch. He's been doing dad jokes. Yes, indeed. So, Wade, thank you. I love you. You are one of my favorite people. And as much shit as I give you for the dad jokes, I do appreciate them. So, now that's out the way. Back to DBZ.
I'm a-coming!
You want that?
Oh, no. That sounds like Krillin. I'm a-coming!
So for those that don't know, Krillin is whining and crying and getting beat up. And for whatever reason, Goku is like, why does that sound like a duck? Because the running gag here is Krillin was quacking like a duck maybe 10 episodes ago. And that's his defense mechanism to quack uncontrollably. So, Space Duck.
Quack!
Quack. Goku-senpai, Goku-senpai, Goku-senpai.
この番組はチームフォースターソダとご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
So these are not real sponsors.
They
This
are
is
not.
done by Team 4-Star. This is really awesome. Hold on. Did you know that Spider-Man has a winter jacket made entirely of Mediterranean flatbreads? It's a pita parka. I can't.
Ooh.
Can't. Again, for those who are reading along, Wade's joke is, do you know that Spider-Man has a winter jacket made entirely of Mediterranean flatbreads? And the reason why, it's called pita parka. Saying it a second time makes it worse. It literally makes it worse.
And that one hurts because you and I are both huge Spider-Man fans.
Correct. And we get a Spider-Man joke. So would you like to explain to the audience what the whole Team 4-Star Soda Spacies is? Remind them.
Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking when they made the whole Team 4-Star Soda bit, but in the previous episode, for everybody who's now watching, every single episode, except for I think 17, because they got cut off for time, they always have a stinger at the end to be like, all right, here's the end of the episode. Here's a joke to make everybody laugh at the very end. The last one that they had was Goku trying to find a refreshing drink after his intense workout. And he was going through the fridge. He only had energy drinks, beer, pause,
Purple
nuts. And the one thing that he found was a can of Team 4-Star Soda. And it was high in calories.
Of course it was.
It was just a can that they just animated. They made it look like a Coca-Cola can, but it just said Team 4-Star Soda on it. And they had a cute little jingle. As for Spacies, there's this huge running joke that says we're in space. So how do people stay connected in space? They use the same social medias as us, but they put the word space in front of it.
Correct.
So, for instance, there's
Facebook.
Facebook, MySpace, Space Twitter, Space Hulu, Space Australia. And so you got to wonder, what do you eat when you're in space outside of just, processed food because astronauts? You got to stop at a fast food chain in space. So why not call it Spacies? It's good food in space. So that's why you got the two little sponsors right there.
Yes. So now we have sponsors for this. Sponsored by
この番組はチームフォースターソダとご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
and Spacies. So if you want to laugh really quick, so I have been trying. Listen carefully. I'll stop it when we get to that point. You'll hear when the announcers announce the Team 4-Star Soda, but it bridges in the part of the Ginyu Tokusentai song. But someone's like doing an opera song in the background, and I've been trying to find it, like that exact version. Listen.
この番組はチームフォースターソダと
You heard it? Like I've been trying to find this, and I don't know if it exists because I've downloaded the Japanese version of Ginyu Tokusentai. I downloaded the American version. I can't find this one.
I think it might have just been Kaiser just splicing it in because it's the continuation, and that's why you can't find it, because it's supposed to be like, here's the ad section of here's our sponsors.
Right. Now I believe that. It does sound a little like Kaiser in the background.
この番組はチームフォースターソダとご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
So this episode is brought to you by Spaceys and Team Fosta Soda.
I can't believe we came all the way out here and spent a week in the space boonies for nothing. Seriously, I'm surprised we didn't hear banjos.
Look at Kenyu's face. He's perplexed.
He's just
Like,
watching
huh?
his boss crash out. He's like, "Oh dear God, what do I do? What do I do?"
I work for this man. Oh dear God. You know what? The funny thing about that is, I don't know. Well, I can't speak for you in your work career, but I feel like we've all had a boss or a supervisor that did this, and one of us is like, "Is this happening right now?"
See, I've had that, but it wasn't at work. It was
Okay.
experiencing that in junior high school.
Oh, a teacher.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Let's just say their personal life was not the happiest, and they didn't have another outlet outside of work. Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Hope they're doing okay now.
So I'll share a quick story. When that happened for me, shit, way back when, I want to say at least 12 years ago. And you know audits. So
Mhm.
my folders were being audited internally for the work we were doing. And you know my day job.
Yeah.
So I was doing that way back in 2012. And my client notes and all this other stuff. And my director came in and audited my folders. And she started to try to like call me out in front of the clients that were in the room. And like she was laying into me. And I stopped her. I said, whoa, hold on. I said, don't do this in front of them. What's wrong with you? And mind you, shorter than me, so a little bit of a Napoleonic complex, and doing the whole like talking upwards at me. And I'm like, who are you talking to like that? You're not my mom's. Like, I remember this is a younger version of me. So not the me you know now. This
Yeah.
is I just got back from Australia me. Like I ain't got shit to lose me. And I said, don't talk like that in front of them. I said, guys, move. I shit you not. One of my clients says, and I quote, yo, Mr. D, you want me to handle that? Because, you know, they
Wow.
was about that life. Those clients. They was about that life. And I said, I got it. So they leave, right? And I walk up to her respectfully. I say, let it be the last time you ever raise your voice at me with anybody present trying to throw your weight around. Because it'll be the last time you do that. Ever. But then she started crying. Yeah, you know, don't want to take accountability. Tears is flowing. But you don't understand. I ain't here for that. Don't do it again. So you know how I got my revenge? A year later, actually, yeah, about a year and a half later, I got promoted above her on the totem pole in another department. Same
Oh,
organization.
Damn.
And I walk into the room, like with, all the management and stuff like that. And she tells me, she goes, what are you doing here? She goes, you're not management. I said, yeah, I am. I said, of this program that you fucked up. Because I'm the reason they gave it to me because I had to save it. And I was like, yeah, that program you drove into the ground, I picked up the slack. You're welcome. And I was over her for 2 years.
Damn.
Yeah. And that's not hyperbole. Like, let me just let the audience know, like, y'all might say it's hyperbole. I don't mince words. I don't like to lie. I don't like to over accentuate. Don't fuck with me. Like I said about Wade, don't mess with me. Most importantly, don't try to call me out in my face, like I told you about that story over the weekend,
Yep.
because you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it. Respectfully, professionally, you're going to regret it. So, yeah. Back to the game.
It's on the way.
So, yeah, that was the face I had when she was crashing out.
because everybody's inbred and looks the fucking
Fucking
same.
same.
Not to mention I lost to Doria
Another
and
face. Look at that.
Zarbon, the latter of whom spent 400 credits making long-distance calls to his girlfriend,
Who
I am convinced
his
is
name's
named
Chuck.
Chuck.
Lord Frieza.
What?
So, for those that don't know and haven't been following along, Zarbon has been sexually ambiguous to the point where everyone thought he was gay. Turns out he said he had a girlfriend. And now that Zarbon's dead, spoilers, Frieza thinks that was a whole cover-up, and the long-distance calls made on the Frieza phone was to a man named Chuck. Again, years ago.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
There may still be a few holdups somewhere. Perhaps you should check your scouter.
Well, would you look at that? 3 in that direction. Good work, Ginyu.
All in a day's work, sir. And now, the Dance of Solitude.
For those that don't know, that's Madonna. Okay, that was Madonna's little theme song.
So, are we just waiting for this thing or what? Holy dooly! Jesus, that was fast!
I mean,
I mean, not as fast as me, considering I'm the fastest in the universe. But compared to the average person,
We get it, Mike. It's cool.
Gohan, hey Gohan.
Oh, the sound.
Gohan. Maybe he'll wake up if I shake him some more.
Goku, just give him a sensu!
Oh, right. Eat up, Gohan.
Hey!
So, last episode, Raccoon kicked
This guy.
Gohan so hard that he looks like this.
He essentially
now-
almost turned him into a corpse.
Basically, he was pretty much a paraplegic. He broke his neck, so he
Yeah.
was like a paraplegic at that point. But if you know Dragon Ball lore, you know that the sensu beans, the magical fruit that does good stuff to you, basically feeds you, and all your strength is returned and you're revitalized. But so Goku is bringing some sensus to Namek, and Gohan, his son, is the first person that we come across.
but compared to the average person,
We get it, Mike. It's cool.
Gohan, hey Gohan. Gohan.
The crunch with the up and around. Ah,
Maybe he'll wake up if I shake him some more.
Goku, just give him a sensu!
that would be me. Give my motherfucking sensu. What are you
Fucking
doing?
Pretty goddamn it.
He dying. Heal him. What are you doing? Krillin being the voice of reason in this show. Wow.
Oh, right. Eat up, Gohan.
Hey! Rikum was in the middle of a match here, so how about you?
Sir,
Sir?
I am talking to my son.
Oh, Rikum apologizes. Wait, what am I apologizing for? Rikum's gonna kill you!
Final Fantasy VII reference.
Dad?
See, I wouldn't know that because
Oh my
I've never
God,
played
you're
Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, that's when you get healed, 9999 is the ultimate HP you can have.
Gotcha.
Here, I love you, Dad.
That's right, Gohan. I am here. Hey,
Okay,
Doesn't
so
even
let's
acknowledge,
play
like,
that
saying,
again.
like,
Dad? Dad! Oh my God, you're here. I love you, Dad.
that's right, Gohan. I am here.
Goku, you are not All Might. Shut the fuck up.
So another running gag you'll see in the show is that Goku, whenever Gohan says something very lovingly to his dad, he's like, yeah, whatever. Like he just downplays it completely. And you'll see in season 3 too, like, but dad just got here. Okay, bye. Or my personal favorite, bye, son.
Yeah, the bad dad Goku jokes are about to be prevalent here. Like this
Yes,
is the
they will
start.
be. This is the start of the bad Goku, the bad dad jokes.
Hey, Krillin, you hanging in there?
Oh, I've had worse. You know, when I died. This is definitely a close second, though.
That's not foreshadowing at all.
Nope.
For those that don't know, Krillin originally dies in the original Dragon Ball, right before or during the King Piccolo arc, as one of Piccolo's kids, original Piccolo, not the one we know now, Tambourine breaks Krillin's neck like Gohan just had, which is ironically funny now that I think about it. And where the fuck were the sensu beans then? Anyway, so, right? Like, wait a minute, hold on. Where the fuck were the sensu beans? Oh, he was already dead. Never mind. Okay. So that's what Krillin is referencing. Like that time that I died. But, you know, this is a close second, but it's about to be a tie for first.
Had worse. You know,
When
I died. This is definitely a close second, though. Raccoon
will not be ignored.
not be ignored.
Sir, I am trying to talk to my friends. Hey, Vegeta, we're friends now, right?
Fuck off.
The best. Now have a magic beam. But make sure you chew it, or else you'll grow a beanstalk in your belly.
Goku, it was terrible. We landed here.
And
How
here
would he
comes the
know
one
that?
superpower that Goku uses that we never see again after all this.
Ever. And there's no
Ever.
explanation. There's no explanation on how he knows how to use his ability. Ever.
Yes, Wade, you are right. You might tell bad dad jokes, but Goku is just a bad dad. Quite the difference.
Okay, real quick. I'm not going to divulge into it, but I will bring it back up whenever we get to season 3. I will make the argument that Goku is not a bad father. He is a bad dad.
What's
There's
the
a
difference?
The difference is that a father is supposed to be like, you know, somewhat caring and takes care of the family. A dad makes sure that his kids knows that they're loved.
Okay, when we get to season 3, that'll be a debate. Because I still think he's a shitty fucking dad. See, okay, we're gonna veer off the track a little bit, kids. So the rhetoric is always that Goku is a bad dad in this version and actual Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Now that I've had time to think about it all these years, yeah, he's a quote unquote bad dad, but you got to remember who the character of Goku is. He is pure of spirit. He didn't know what getting a bride was. He didn't know what marriage is. So nobody taught him how to be a father. We don't know what happens between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z in those first 4 or 5 years of Gohan's life. Chi-Chi probably did all the work, the raising of the work, right?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be a scholar. I would argue it's not so much Goku's a bad dad. He just doesn't know how to be a dad or what being a dad means. What you just described, I guarantee you, with Goku's limited intelligence, you don't know what the fuck that means.
That is true. But since we're talking about it now, here's my stance on it. Yes, he does not know how to be a dad because all he knows is food, fighting, and getting the Dragon Balls. That's
Correct.
it. The reason why I make this argument is because in the kind of a little bit in here, he does his best to make sure that his son isn't in the action for as long as he is. He tries to take all the burden on him, despite the fact that, yeah, he gets a fight out of it. But he tries to make sure, like, hey, get the fuck out. I know that you're out of your depth, and thank you for doing your best to get everybody resurrected. But get your ass to the ship. Especially, spoilers for the later stuff, especially whenever shit hits the fan, and he's full, like, blown Super Saiyan and pissed off, he still tells him, like, get your ass out of here. But I think the argument is more prevalent in the Cell Saga, because in that year where they're training in the time chamber, they're spending time. Yeah, they're training, but they're still bonding, training together, having some father-son dynamics, and it's a little bit cute and fun and wholesome. And then at the end, even though a lot of this stuff is for Cell stuff, it's a lot of Goku and Vegeta's fault. But in the end, Goku sacrifices himself to make sure
Word.
that Gohan and Chi-Chi grow up happy and safe. That's
Right.
why I make that argument that even though a lot of the stuff that happens later on in the show is kind of his fault, he still makes up for it to be like, I fucked up. Thank you. I love you. I love you, son. Take care of your mother for me. Bye. And sacrifices himself. That's why I say he's a good father, just not a good dad.
That's logical. That's fair for me. But when we get there, we'll have a more in-depth debate. But it really dawned on me while we were talking of, you know what? He doesn't really know what it means to be a dad. He's like you said, he eats, he fights. That's it. He's a provider. I hate to use the term provider because I fucking hate those terminologies nowadays. But he hunts food, brings it home for Chi-Chi to cook. So very traditional. He kills fish with his bare hands. He's been doing it since Dragon Ball. So at the very least, he knows how to be a roommate.
At the very least.
There you go. Wait said it. There you go. He's a legal guardian.
Fair enough.
He's only his dad in papers, not in actions, up to this point. All right, I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna have to dip backstage real quick. But I'm gonna let you run the show while I dip. All right?
That's good.
And then there were these really strong guys, and then there was even more strong guys, and then our ship blew up, and then there was even more strong.
Lord, now, reading your mind.
Wait, what?
Pull yourself together, Krillin.
Haha, that thing was a guy.
Goku, did you just read my mind?
Yeah, huh?
But how could you?
Muffin button.
What?
Huh?
That's
A
it.
way better explanation
Freak
on
Goku has had
how
enough.
he has that ability to read minds.
Freak
You should give us
Goku.
nothing on how he's able to do that. It's the most annoying thing that a lot of fans gripe about. Of like, he has the ability to read minds. He gets it out of nowhere. The only reason why he's able to do it is because Toriyama wrote himself into a corner because he needed Goku to know the whole situation of like where they're in, and so he just gave him the ability to read Krillin's mind. Doesn't explain how he got that ability, and then just moves on. TFS gives a better explanation of just muffin button, huh? And that's it. It's a better explanation. I wish they did something with it, or just like had Krillin tell him everything. It's annoying.
And yeah, it's annoying because we've never, like you said, we don't ever see it again, right? So whenever shenanigans happens in TFS, DBZA, muffin button is typically the reason. So this is the first indication, if I remember correctly, of the use of muffin button to describe something so asinine that it doesn't make sense. But because of the muffin button, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So Krillin's over here and talking about there were these strong, which in reality does explain all of Dragon Ball, right? Goku, there was these strong guys, and then there were even more strong guys, and after we beat them, there were even more strong guys. So that essentially explains all of shonen anime. Start with strong guy, beat that. Here comes another strong guy, beat that. Here comes even more strong guys, beats that. He just explained anime in a nutshell. In a nutshell.
Certain animes, but yeah, mostly shonen.
Shonen typically, yeah.
We landed here, and then there were these really strong guys, and then there was even more strong guys, and then our ship blew up, and then there was even more strong.
Lord, now, reading your mind.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
Haha, that thing was a guy.
Goku, did you just read my mind?
Yeah, huh?
Mhm.
But how could you?
Muffin button.
Button.
What?
Huh?
Huh?
That's
And that's also part of the gag when they be like, what, huh? Muffin button, what, huh? Like, what you talking about? Like, I don't know.
Also, funny enough,
Freak
Muffin
cool.
Button, it's kind of a
I've had enough.
fun like vocal stim.
Huh?
You know how it's like some people just like whenever they have like those moments where they're just stimming, they'll just say random shit.
Yeah.
Muffin Button is a fun vocal one.
Mm.
It's just fun to say
What?
too.
And oh, by the way, for those that don't know Goku by now, this man, the Raccoon, has been handing people their bodies this stuff for like 3 episodes. So now Raccoon is like, that's it, I'm gonna whoop your ass. And then we get this.
Feel the strength of the ring! Boom! Ultra fighting miracle!
Sir! I will fight you in a minute.
This
One elbow to the fucking gut. Knock down Raccoon.
Done. Incapacitates. Just like they did to Nappa in season 1. Just one bang incapacitates. So to say that Goku's not a little OP says a lot.
this is
And of
impossible.
course, Vegeta's like, nah, son, that can't be.
Kakarot was nowhere near that same level when we fought on Earth. The only way he could have attained this strength is... No, it can't be. The legend says it only happens every 1,000 years. Has he become a Super Saiyan?
So anyway, Vegeta, what happened to you? Did you get beat up by this guy?
No.
No, I
fell down some stairs.
You fell down some stairs.
I fell down some stairs. No, you didn't. You shut up before I throw you down a flight.
I'm pretty sure in the commentaries they said that that was a reference to Fight Club. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. I've never seen Fight Club, so I wouldn't know.
Neither have I.
So, Dende, sucks about your family.
We've gone
We've been
over
over
this.
But do you know who also lost his family?
this joke has grown on me. It's grown on me, especially when you get to the last part of it.
Yes.
Family? Batman.
I don't know who that is.
See, this is why we need TV.
TV.
Why?
No, Dende. No, Dende. Dende.
Yes, here.
Dende. Why are you back?
I never left.
Hold on, play it again.
No.
Haru.
Dende.
Neil's here.
No.
Why are you back?
I never left, sir. I was outside hitting my head against the wall for 20 minutes.
So that's what that was. Why have you ignored?
You noticed that, right? That's the first time I noticed Guru's wincing when Nail's hitting on the wall. Huh. So you
like
pick up little things, right?
He just knows he's there. He hears them. And he's like, "Ugh, I don't like that. Ugh. Ow."
Just well, also remember, Namekians are sensitive to sound. So
High
that
frequency
sound
sounds.
might have been amplified. Just say.
My order.
Because, Lord Guru, I...
Look at Den's face.
Like, God damn, how is this guy not gone fucking insane yet?
can't leave you unguarded no matter what.
Clean that up.
What the bleeding hell? We were.
So if you didn't get this part,
That up.
that's a spoof off of the 1960s Batman.
Good old
When
Adam
the theme
West.
song was da-na-na-na-na-na-na Batman. So yeah, this was a spoof to do a transition. So
What the bleeding hell? We were having all right
Rick's
rips
not
not here,
here.
and then this piker shows up, and just like that, it's good night,
Good
Irene.
night, Irene.
Get it, you're from space Australia.
we get it. You're from Space Australia.
And just like that, it's good night, Irene.
We get it, you're from space Australia.
He's making fools out of us, Jace.
You're bloomin' right, he is.
Bloomin', like the bloomin' onion from Outback Steakhouse.
We'd better bust out our special technique.
Seizure procedure!
Krillin, whatever you do, don't look directly at it.
As Gohan
Krillin?
looks directly at it.
No.
So, for those that don't know, certain light patterns can give you an epileptic seizure. So, the seizure procedure is them spinning to that light. The song is Sandstorm.
Darude Sandstorm.
Yes, Darude Sandstorm. And if you've been in a club from any point from the year 2000 onwards, or if you've seen Jersey Shore, you know what that song is. So that's why we have the seizure procedure.
Out our special technique.
Seizure procedure!
Krillin, whatever you do, don't look directly at it.
As Gohan looks directly at it, and so does Goku. Looking directly at it.
Krillin, whatever you do, don't look directly at it. Krillin?
Krillin, you idiot.
Here's how I can explain it away. Because you know me, I'm always looking for weird ways to explain something. This doesn't affect Saiyans. Their eyesight, okay, their power levels currently. Goku doesn't phase him. Gohan, because he's part Saiyan and he's almost died, so he might have gotten a really big Zenkai boost from damn near dying from a broken neck. Probably that's why. Krillin, regular old human.
That's fair. I would like to think it's the power levels, mostly because specifically with Goku, because of where he is right now, he can see how fast everything moves, so it's fine. And Gohan is just below it, so that's why he can't look directly at it. And then, yeah, Krillin, he's human, he's weak, and fucking
Procedure!
Yeah.
Krillin, whatever you do, don't look directly at it. Krillin?
Yeah, just like Masako X, who plays every member of the Sun family, right? Which is a spoof of Masako Nozawa, Goku and Gohan's Japanese voice actress. Spot on with the way he's portraying Gohan so far in this series. Just a hint of naivete mixed with too much common sense in certain other aspects, right? And he just wants the best for his friends. So he's like, Krillin, don't look directly at it.
Procedure!
And then no matter what he does, no one listens to him in the show because they'll say, nerd. So.
Krillin, whatever you do, don't look directly at it. Krillin?
He was trying to help his boy out.
But
and look what
no
happened.
one listens.
No, why? No one resists the seizure procedure.
Plan B!
All right, you bastard.
Here's another ability Goku uses once and we never see again.
Prepare to feel the wrath of the Ginyu.
Not the punch.
Oh, you goddamn wanker! You punched me in the... Oh, you did it again! Stupid piss!
Do you see how wide Jace's mouth is?
Stupid piss!
Look how wide his mouth is.
Fucking unhinged. God
Jeez.
damn.
Yeah. Well, at least we know he has a humanoid mouth. He's got a uvula back here. So.
Oh, what did the Captain tell us to do in this
What did the
situation?
captain say?
Jace, if you ever find yourself being punched repeatedly in the face, always remember to...
Oh, he got
Get
off
off
the
the
Captain!
captain.
So, are you gonna dodge any of these?
Oh, that's what the Captain... Better! Support!
Well, you've got very nice hair, you're a beautiful shade of red, and honestly, you're the only guy I can rely on this team.
Oh, no!
He did give support.
Not the kind that he needed.
Moral support. Right.
punch him, you daft bastard! Oh,
But thanks, though.
oh, but thanks, you know. That it really cheered me. Oh, God, I think he broke something that time. Yeah!
And we never see this ability again.
Goku time.
I saw this on Toonami. I thought, oh shit, that's badass. We never see, at least to my knowledge, we don't see Goku do this again.
I mean, he didn't really have a use for it because all of his fights are mostly just one-on-one.
Yeah.
Goku time.
All right, this is just bloody stupid.
Calm down. We gotta come up with a plan.
Here comes the revelation. Here it comes.
Listen, if you use your crusher ball on him, I can rush him the moment he tries to dodge. He may be fast.
He could have just left it at that, right? He could have just said, that's the plan, man. But
he's not faster than the fastest guy in the universe.
Okay, mate, we need to talk about this whole fastest in the universe thing. First off, the captain's got a higher power level than you.
Yeah, so?
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a higher power level means he's faster, yeah?
Well, okay, maybe.
And Lord Frieza's got a higher power level than all of us.
Okay, that's just not fair.
And this is the part that sets him over the edge.
If you think about it, Goldo can stop time, so that technically makes him faster than...
No, okay? I am not slower than fucking Goldo!
Berta, calm down.
No, stop!
Berta, calm down. No, shut the fuck up.
Stop! You shut your stupid red face! Oh,
Don't worry, mate.
You're just there with a Goldo!
I wonder if there's a Denny's on this planet. I could really go for a Grand Slam.
See? If it ain't fighting, it's eating. If it ain't fighting,
Yeah.
it's eating. If it ain't eating, it's fighting.
Everyone has something special. I don't. What am I? The big blue snake guy. That's all I've got. That's all I've got.
Which is actually accurate because
Yeah.
Captain Ginyu talks about this.
Jeez, mate, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
I just want to be special. Something to call my own, you know?
Mate, you do got something special. You mean, mate?
Aw, dude.
No,
Aw.
really. Remember when I had to move me piano into me flat and Raccoon was too busy with his match and Goldo, well, he was Goldo, but
His space piano, apparently.
In his space
you
apartment.
got those ivory keys up those 5 flights in no time at all. You're me best, mate.
Thanks, Chase. You're my best friend, too. You know, after all this is over, what do you say we head off to Spaces and just have a good old time?
Sounds good, mate.
But remember, you still owe me that space soda.
You're right, I do.
Such a heartwarming friend-to-friend moment, right? Heartwarming.
So wholesome.
So innocent, so wholesome.
Now, let's go show that bloke what for.
Say, do you know where there's a Denny's around here?
No!
Butter! That'll go great on my
Butter! That'll go great on my Grand Slam. Hold on, let's do it one time. Look, oh, that got right there, caught him right there. Look at that. Bang! Bang!
Kicked him so hard that he broke his space armor.
Say, do you know where there's a Denny's around here?
No!
Butter! That'll go great on my Grand Slam.
You
Kill
just
me,
killed me,
best
best
mate.
mate. I'm gonna get to Keaton, and he's gonna beat you up.
That is such a 1980s thing to say. I'm gonna get my dad to beat your dad up. I'm gonna get my brother to beat you up.
Well, that was fun. Now, where are the fighters? I really want to deck that freezer guy.
You've got to be kidding. This is a Super Saiyan.
A super what?
Nothing, just lamenting my crushed dreams. Goku, I can't believe you're so strong.
Well, I did train at 100 times normal gravity.
Man, no wonder you killed them so easily. Fuck.
Krillin, I'm not gonna kill them. They're hardly even a threat.
Massacre.
Vegeta! That was not
That was
very
not very
Paragon.
Paragon.
Renegade for life.
So that let's explain that one real quick. The whole Renegade for Life. I believe that's a Mass Effect reference. In
Yes.
certain video games, RPGs specifically, action RPGs for the most part, you can choose light versus dark, right? Like I remember playing Star Wars. You can either fight for the Jedis or fight for the dark side, right? So in this
Or
case,
real quick, another one that I remember growing up with, and you probably remember, Spider-Man Web of Shadows, where you had the choice of
yes,
using Hero Spidey or Symbiote Spidey.
or Symbiote Spidey, right? And there were certain moments in the game where the points attributed to that section would be doubled, tripled, depending on how you answered questions. Now, if you haven't played Web of Shadows, first off, play it. It's actually a really good Spider-Man game. If you can get
So good.
I would suggest getting it off of Steam because I know the physical media is off the chart. I think it was like last I saw $80
God
minimum.
damn.
Yeah, you should see Shattered Dimensions. That's even higher.
I'm glad I got a physical version of it.
That's even higher. Yeah, it's actually worth. Some people are reselling it for like $100. But yeah, so that's what this is. He's picking Renegade because Goku is Paragon. He's a paragon of truth.
Renegade for life.
And real quick,
So this, go ahead.
real quick, to kind of also talk about the Renegade for Life stuff. So I think not until this point, but a little bit later, Team 4-Star also had a gaming channel
They
where
did.
it's just called,
They still do.
yeah, called TFS Gaming, where back then it was just them just trying to find games and just play, but as the characters, where you would have Takahata and Lanny play as Nappa and Vegeta and just have fun, make gags about it. But then they had an entire completely different series where it was just Vegeta playing games and they called it Renegade for Life.
Okay. See, I didn't know that part.
Yeah. I think the one that not exactly made them go to fame, but the one that a lot of people probably remember the most is that he did the entire playthrough of
In voice, right?
yeah, in voice of Metal Gear Solid Revengeance Rising.
As Vegeta's voice, I believe. That was what I had
Yes.
seen. Okay. See, little tidbits. When you're a voice actor, you can use your skills for a myriad of things. As spoken as a former voice actor who flamed out, you can use your voice for a lot of things. So before this episode ends, I just want to let people know this is one of my most underrated favorite parts of all of TFS or DBZA, only because Goku's so innocent and naive, probably even more so than his son, who's about 6 right now. Just the banter. I love the banter.
I think that's bad. Seriously, if you hit him hard enough, you
Not
can play
this
a
part,
song.
when we get to. Well, we know what that is.
I don't even know what that's from. I think that was Tetris. Isn't that what you get when you cut yourself with something rusty?
Nope, that's rabies.
Actually, Dad, you can.
It's actually tetanus, but it's
Yeah.
fine.
What you get when you cut yourself with something rusty?
Nope, that's rabies.
Actually, Dad, you contract rabies
This
when you're
part.
bitten by an animal with the disease.
Silly
Gohan.
Gohan. Animals don't
Don't
eat
eat
people. People eat
animals.
animals. Silly
Silly
Gohan.
Gohan. I don't know why that is so funny for me. Well, when he goes, silly Gohan.
I think that's just like quintessential TFS Goku in a nutshell. Outside of fighting and food. It's just
He's just
so dumb and naive.
yeah. And it's as Mr. Popo says, it's endearing. It's endearing.
Bitch, you're lucky you're endearing.
Yo, Mr. P, thread me up. Bitch, you're lucky you
Eat people. People.
Disease.
Silly
Silly
Gohan.
Gohan.
Animals don't eat people. People eat animals. Silly Gohan.
That's like silly rabbit tricks up for kids. You got one more in you?
I got one more in me.
Got.
And hey, it's my number 22. Let's go.
Hey. Come on. Hurry up.
The following is a non-profit fan biased parody.
Oh, hold on. Let's go to the chat right quick. Hey, look. That's Lauren, by the way.
Tiger Lily. Hey, Lauren. Hi.
Wait, who's Rambone? Oh, no, not Ram Dog. Oh, no. Okay. That's
is this
a
lore
deep
that
cut.
I don't know?
That's a deep cut for the retro.
Oh, boy.
It's a deep cut, man, to one of the worst cartoons I've covered on this show.
Oh, no.
Rumbo. Oh, Rumbo. Okay. Rambo had a cartoon. The character of Rambo, John Rambo, played by Sylvester Stallone, was a violent black ops, went to war against some towns, some smugglers, killed some people, right? So Ruby Spears, which if you know cartoons of the 80s, they were like up there with like Deke and a couple of other ones, which I can't stand fucking the company Deke. I can't stand them. It has nothing to do with their name either. It's just they suck. But Rambo had a show, a cartoon. And wait, I don't know if it was you or someone else. That was a paid request. So I'm watching it, right? Not even 5 minutes into the show, the intro. You know what? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to show you. Hold on. I'm just going to show you. Hold on. We'll get back to DBZ in a minute, but oh, man. So, yeah. So the nickname is typically Rumbo, but this makes sense. Hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you've ever seen a bootleg G.I. Joe before, that is the Rambo cartoon series.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's a no good. That's a no good.
And even worse, on a deeper cut, that's not even the worst G.I. Joe ripoff I've covered on this show. The worst one was Chuck Norris's Karate Commandos.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that on some of the previous retro rewatches.
Worst cartoon I've ever covered on this show. And that even includes the New Kids on the Block cartoon. That includes Clerks. That includes the horrible Care Bears movie that I was paid to cover. Horrible.
Damn.
The Archie cartoon, not the comic strip cartoon. It was like a Pee-wee's Playhouse kind of version of the Archie cartoon.
No.
Chuck Norris's Karate Commandos are worse than that. And yes, worse than the Mortal Kombat cartoon. Worse than the Mortal Kombat cartoon.
God, and I've watched that with you. Not like this, but whenever you were streamed it. God, that one was horrible.
Combat time.
It's combat time.
All right, so I give you Rambo. And you'll see why in a second when I pause it. 1986. So let me just stop really quick. This isn't it, but that whole prep theme song you hear, that's his version of eating spinach if you're Popeye. The minute he starts doing this, that's your ass. This exact scene.
Rambo. Anywhere and everywhere.
Rumbo.
Fuck.
That is what Wade affectionately calls Rumbo.
Who is Rambo's dog and essentially is like Scooby-Doo.
No, this is a random dog. This is from the first episode.
What the fuck? Why did they give this dog a human face? Why? It looks horrible.
Just the dude, that is the thing that really threw me and Wade off. Is like every time we saw that, we're like, and we cackle. It's like, why did you make him look like this?
Fucking Rubro Reggie terrorists.
That's exactly it. Terrorists. So
The savage forces of
that's
General
Rambo.
Warhawk.
So we're gonna finish the intro. This has how you know this is a fake G.I. Joe. We're gonna go back to the beginning. Because you got to get the whole thing. I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna play it out.
Rambo. Anywhere and everywhere, the savage forces of General Warhawk threaten the peace-loving people of the world. There's only one man to call. Get me Rambo. From the canyons of skyscrapers to the canyons of remote mountain peaks, Liberty's champion is unstoppable. Rambo, helped by the mechanical genius known as Turbo, and the master of disguises named Cat, the honor-bound protector of the innocent. Rambo, the force of freedom.
What? You weren't kidding when you said it was a literal like bootleg G.I. Joe. That looks like garbage.
You want to know the funny part? The fun fact about that show?
What?
Each episode cost up to $2 million to do.
Huh?
How? Ruby Spears was so like, this is it, baby, because Rambo, like he was an action star in the 80s, right? We got Rambo, got the rights to it. They thought this was going to sell so many figures because, you know, G.I. Joe adjacent. Between $2 and $5 million per episode. Blew their money in the first 3 episodes, or the first 3, and then you see the animation take a drastic downturn. Drastic downturn.
That is the biggest waste of money I have ever seen. Ever.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Told you it was bad. Told you it was bad. And that still isn't the worst cartoon I have covered on this fucking show. Not even the worst cartoon. That's the sad part. So yeah, it started off with Rumbo, and then it just took on a mind of its own after that.
Just Reggie, rarists.
Rarist, Raggy. They just came. That was the first episode. They took those clips from the first episode. And not even the first 5 minutes of the episode.
Looking forward to watching bad shows like that in my future.
So I just had a really weird meta moment where I went to go and get the cartoon back, and the first thing that pops up on my For You page on YouTube is literally us talking right now.
Hey, let's go.
Hey. So people are eventually going to watch this. So all right, let me find it again. So yeah, I'm sorry we derailed the show, but
Blame Wade.
This is Wade's fault. He apologized for ruining the show, but
But that I needed a good laugh. That was funny.
oh, you think that's bad? I'm telling you, wait until I show you the intro and maybe half the first episode for the Chuck Norris cartoon. Worst. Because there's live action Chuck Norris clips where he gives you like a good piece of advice in the 80s, like don't do drugs, kids. Worse.
Oh no. No.
All owned by Funimation, Toei Animation, Fuji TV, and Akira Toriyama. Please support the official release.
And so I tell him, I don't care who you are. Now clean my jowls. And that was Nail's first day on the job.
Yes, sir. I remember I was there. That also doesn't have anything to do with what we were talking about.
Again, look at Dende's face.
What were we talking about?
That ungodly power headed our way.
Oh, yeah. That.
You know, perhaps you should give someone else that power up. You remember the one you gave the Earthlings?
You are correct. It is time for me to unlock your hidden power.
And this is how you know Guru is a dick.
Ours. Dende.
Oh, what the hell?
And now your power has been awakened.
I noticed.
Sir, I was referring to me.
Now listen to me, Dende. With these powers, you garner a huge responsibility. I need you to run as fast as you can to the Earthling.
Sir, he left you the moment after you gave him the power up.
That slut!
No way, this stupid guy in this stupid outfit starts beating us up, and I lost my best mate. And
This sounds just like when Krillin was bitching to Goku, if you think about it.
And then we beat up Vegeta, and then these guys started taking over and fighting him, and then this one guy came in, and then he beat up my best mate.
Professionally and dutifully.
oh,
Sorry, Captain.
sorry, kitten.
Now, Jace, back from
Full
the
report.
field. Full report.
Well, see, at first it was going fine, but next thing we know, Guldo, well,
Oh, Lord, he's dead, isn't he?
there he is, sir.
Well, in our line of work, our lives can be compromised at any moment. This is something we must live with. On the plus side, Bert owes me 50 rabbits.
About that, kitten. He's probably not gonna pie up.
Really? He's usually such a good sport about that.
Thing is, he's come down with a sudden case of death, sir.
Oh,
And remember I said there's a payoff to the I'm just the blue snake guy. What's my specialty? That's all I've got.
that's... Wow. That's a rather hefty loss.
Yes, sir. He was a valued teammate. Strong, fast, and...
And blue.
Pardon, kitten?
Blue. And tall. And you're so red and short. It was the perfect little yin-yang thing we had.
So even his leader, his commander, says the best thing about Birder was that he was blue and tall.
And tall.
going?
Not that short, Captain.
Oh, don't go all Vegeta on me. Now, where are we going to find another blue recruit? Perhaps Raccoon knows someone. He's dead too, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, did he at least die with dignity?
Define dignity, sir. At face down, ass up.
Define dignity, sir.
Well, Jace, I believe the next step is obvious. We, as professionals, cannot allow this act to go unabated. We have a job to finish, and we shall see it through.
Yes, sir.
Ginyu Force, away!
There's still a force, even though there's only 2 members left. So,
Yeah, they're not a team, they're a force.
yeah.
Sure is nice to see you guys again, but I sure can't help but feel that someone's missing.
I know a joke is coming.
Oh yeah, Bulma.
What do you think she's up to?
Probably something girly.
So for those that don't know, that's from the filler because Bulma was useless throughout this entire trip. So the showrunners decided, hey, let's give her something to do. Let's have her fighting crabs in the ocean. So that's why we get this song.
Like her hair.
Your idiotic banter is charming, but if you haven't noticed, we're pretty much screwed here.
What? Why?
Frieza has the Dragon Balls, you dolt, which basically means we're already dead.
Actually, not really.
Oh? Something you know that I don't?
A lot of
A
things,
lot,
actually.
You have 5 seconds to rephrase that.
I will not, sir.
4, 3.
Actually, what I meant to say was when you make a wish on the Dragon Balls, the sky turns darker than the blackest void. And out of the
Different times, but kind of funny. Just for who Popo is.
Over a decade old, that joke is.
balls rises a giant dragon. So yeah, none of that.
2, 1.
Hi, Vegeta.
Hi, Ginyu.
That's him, Caden. That's the one who beat us up.
What? Just look at his hair. He looks like he just got out of bed. For goodness sakes, Jace, he's even wearing pajamas.
I'll swear it, sir. He picked us apart one by one. We never stood a chance. Oh, that's just not fair.
Jace, what have I told you?
You know, I'm surprised you're here, Ginyu. I thought you'd be busy polishing Frieza's boots.
First off, Lord Frieza doesn't wear boots. Second, if he did, I'd have already polished them. Third, he's off chasing some leftover Namekians.
Wait, so Frieza's not at the ship?
Correct.
And you're here,
That's right.
and the average power level of Frieza's soldiers is...
2,000.
Why would you even give away that information?
Because
Why?
Ginyu is just as incompetent as the rest of the Ginyu Force. That's my guess.
They all share a brain, just like you, just like you, me, and James. Apparently, when they're all together, they all share a brain.
Yeah. Also, quick confession I got to make real
Yeah.
quick. So,
Mhm.
whenever I first watched this, I understood that Jace was Australian, space Australian in the series. But for the longest
Yes.
time, whenever he was talking about getting Captain Ginyu or talking about the captain, I never heard him say captain. I thought he was saying
Yeah,
kitten. And it was just like, ugh. Because it played into the little like flamboyancy of the group. I was like, oh,
Yes.
that kind of fits. But then I
Yeah.
realized, oh no, it's just his accent. That's why it's funny.
saying Captain, like Captain Crunch,
Yes.
CAP apostrophe N, Captain. See, kids, way back in the day, the term cap was not lying. That wasn't a term called lying. Cap was short for Captain. Captain Crunch, Captain America, things like that. But yeah, kitten does make sense though.
Interesting.
Krillin, Gohan, get out of here and find Bulma. Vegeta and I can handle this on our own.
Oh, no. I mean, I'd really hate to leave you on your own, you know, but if you say so, let's go, Gohan.
Be careful, Dad.
All right, Vegeta.
So I will say this. Krillin is a good type uncle to Gohan. He just wants to protect him and keep him out of trouble while saving his own hide, mind you. But
Yeah, he's a good
I still
step
think it's
uncle.
quaint. Yeah, good step uncle. Well, no, it's more okay. No, because pseudo uncle, because you have those family members that you're so close. You're like, oh, that's my cousin, that's my aunt, that's my uncle. Even though there's no genetic relation, but for you they're close like family, so you'll just dub them cousin, nephew, niece, dad, things like that.
Yeah.
Vegeta, we have to put our differences aside for now and take these guys as a team.
Yeah, that's fantastic and entertaining and all that. But first, if you don't mind me, I need to use the restroom.
Oh, okay.
About 100 miles away.
He has a very nervous bladder.
So, for the first century, I'll go easy on them, lure them into a false sense of security, and then when they think I'm not so bad, bam! I'll go full tyrant on them in the second century. After that, I'll disappear for a millennia and make them wonder if I ever existed to begin with.
So, quick thing about the Frieza-mobile. So in the comics, right, you'll have these entities that are completely larger than life. I'm thinking Thanos in Marvel, Darkseid, in DC. And every so often there's a spoof comic regarding certain characters that are god tier. And it humanizes them, it brings them down to the level of the reader. This reminds me, when I see the Frieza-mobile, it reminds me of the time where Thanos had a helicopter in the comics, the Thanos copter. And I believe Darkseid had a vehicle also. And I'm over here thinking, the Frieza-mobile, he can fly probably faster than that goes. But he's so lazy and he's so bougie that he's letting himself be flown when he literally can just fly there.
Plus, you got to think, it's probably pretty comfy.
True. Going at Mach 5, yeah, I guess. But it's just funny when you have these overpowered villains and they can do things on their own, but yet sometimes they just need a little help. Like Spider-Man when he had the spider cycle. Don't know why you needed a spider cycle aside to sell action figures. I know. But
yeah.
Also, off topic, real quick. In your opinion, because you've been watching cartoons as long as I have, what is the best peripheral object that is sold for, let's say, like G.I. Joe, Thundercats? Like, what vehicle, what peripheral, what like thing that wasn't integral to the action figure itself, but you had to get it? Because I have mine.
I don't know, because the first thing that just came to mind, but you said that doesn't go with the action figure?
Like, it doesn't
like that tiny
need to be a part of it. Like, for instance, Lino needs the Sword of Omens for Thundercats. So that doesn't quantify. But like in G.I. Joe, when you have a machine like the BET or whatever, I don't know if you know what that is, but it's not necessary. It's just a side, the turtle van. You don't really need it.
Yeah. Damn. I don't know. Shit. I really don't know.
Because I got two.
I think the only thing that I can think of, because I kind of remember this whenever I was a kid. I don't know if you remember, but back whenever Star Wars, like the prequels were coming out and the Raimi Spider-Man movies were coming out, they had these not weird, but these series of like action figures. They were like tiny figures. They were like weirdly proportioned where they had like kind of like big heads and big feet, but they were tiny.
Yeah.
They did, and you could get 2 of them in one pack. I had a few for Spider-Man and a few for Star Wars. The one that I got for Spider-Man was whenever Spider-Man 3 came out, and it was Spider-Man and New Goblin. And every single action figure that they had was like all pieced together, like glued together, so that way you could play them, move them however you want. The only thing that you could move was their hands and occasionally their heads. But for some reason, I wanted to play with the New Goblin's glider because it looked like a skateboard.
Okay.
So my dumbass broke the action figure and in a way that where the action figure didn't actually break, and the glider was still intact, so I could play with that. That's the only thing that I can think that kind of works, because you could still play with the action figures and be like, it works. But that's the only thing that comes to mind. I can't think of anything else. It's like something like the Turtle Van, where it's like, you don't necessarily need it, but it'll be fun to have.
Correct. And that's what I mean, like something of that ilk. So for me, because the Frieza-mobile reminded me of this. The Thunder Tank.
Yeah.
Even as a grown-ass man, I would still buy a Thunder Tank. Like the toy, the toy.
Yeah.
I mean, if they sold the real Thunder Tank, then yeah, fuck that shit. I'm pulling all my resources and we gonna drop the Thunder Tank. But the Thunder Tank is one of those that you don't need it, but it's such an integral part of the cartoon, you can't help but want it.
Fair enough. And then I think another one, because I kind of have one. I meant it was supposed to be a gift, but they already got this. The animated series Batmobile. That's one of the ones that kind of comes to mind.
Okay. I mean, it's a sleek design. Yeah. I get that.
Although Michael Keaton's Batmobile, best Batmobile.
I feel like that's the one. That's the one. Yeah,
that's the only thing that I can really think of.
No, that's perfectly fine. Because the more I think about it, let's say G.I. Joe, they need their weapons. So they need their fighter jets because they're an army, right? Fighter jets, ground level vehicles. But the Thunder Tank, it's necessary in moments, but for the general plot, it's not necessary. Something that's necessary for the plot that I still would buy to this day, and I've seen it recently for sale. He-Man's Castle Grayskull.
Ooh, that's
with the
good.
with the drawbridge, because you got to have the drawbridge. I had that as a kid. I took that shit to the beach. I remember distinct childhood memory unlocked. Took it to the beach, built the sandcastle around my castle of Castle Grayskull, and I don't know what happened somewhere along the lines. It got lost, stolen, what have you. Not the beach, but I remember distinctly playing with this. And it wasn't until I went to a toy store recently in Dallas. I think it's on the Dallas-Plano border. They have a Castle Grayskull in box.
I want to say I think I know what store you're talking about. Vintage Dallas Toy Store.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there. They got some good shit there.
So a certain ex-girlfriend that you know of mine had to drag me out of the store because I was about to go ham. So I was like, ooh, like a big kid, like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And they knew I was trying to budget, but you know, ADHD, get all giddy.
Out the window, yeah.
Dragged out and did not buy it. But I'm single now. So I might have to go back and buy one.
And one quick story, because we're talking about toys now before we go back into the rewatch. So I know about Vintage Dallas Toy Store because I think it was on my 19th birthday. This was whenever this whole collection behind me was still in the double digits.
Oh.
This was before I had a good good hands on adult money. Like I still had I had a job, but it wasn't like, like the bigger bucks that I have now.
Right.
But we had just came back from Florida like months ago because we had a fun break over the summer. And that's whenever the craze for buying these Funko Pops was like starting to kick up. And my friend Michael, who is also an avid toy collector, but he collects vintage toys like Castle Grayskull, but not like he doesn't buy those big things. He just buys the action figures that are like they go up for a lot of money.
Right.
So he took me to a comic book store because obviously, DF Toy Stash, which is sadly no longer in business, and Dallas Vintage Toy Store. I said I had a budget, but then we went over that budget, and I was like, fuck it. It's my birthday. Let's have some fun. So, yeah. But the one thing that I do remember the most, in fact, I'm going to show it off. Back whenever the Toy Stash was still in business, they have that huge shelf behind them that shows of the expensive super collectible figures. They go for a shit ton of money. One of the ones that I saw was this guy, Stan Lee, with the Infinity Gauntlet. And I wanted it because Stan Lee, I fucking love him, and I love Marvel. And I was like, hey, how much is that? I want it. And oh, it's not for sale. I was like, but you have it behind you. It's like, yeah, but it's broken. And yes, it is because the bobblehead, the spring in it is a little bit old and busted, so that's why. But I was like, well, then why do you have it back there? It's like, why do you have it back there if it's broken? It's like, I don't know. I was like, well, since it's broken, I'll pay you X amount of money to take it off your hands. It's like, fuck it, fine. And I was like, hell yeah. So he sits on my shelf proudly in front of my entire
You don't need this. Always looking for the deals, man. Always looking for the deals. Like today, prime example. I'll tell this quick story and we'll get back to the rewatch. So I have a online store sometimes where I sell vintage games and old school electronics and things like that. So I sold a game that I didn't think I still had. I forgot I had it. Marvel Ultimate Alliance Part 1.
Oh,
and yeah, Part 1. And I sold it at a discounted rate. I'm just like, you know what? If it's going to make this person happy, I'm not going to haggle over $5-6. Whatever. I get it today. I found it, and I'm getting ready to box it. And I look at the back of the CD, and I went, "Oh, this is really scratched up." In the course of and it's complete in box. It's not in a loose, but somewhere along the lines, it got scratched the fuck up.
Ugh.
So I tested on my PS2. It works on mine. So I contact the buyer. I say, hey, found it, about to box it up. But before I do, here's some pictures of the disc. These are the scratches. It works on mine. I'm not making a guarantee it's going to work on yours. If you don't want to do the transaction, I completely understand. Dude tells me, nah, I still want it. Even if it doesn't work, I'm going to refurbish it and rebuff it anyway and take the scratches out. I went, still wants it. Like you said, still want it. Don't matter if it's broken, defective. We will make exceptions.
Yep.
If it's the thing we want.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Another man's treasure.
Just to come back and kill them all. Good afternoon.
It's morning. Talk.
Cute kid. Seems familiar.
Did you see that look? Then they flashed him though, bitch ass, that look.
Fucking death stare,
That's the death stare shit. That looks like Piccolo staring at somebody. They used the Piccolo animation for this one.
This asshole.
This motherfucker.
Good afternoon.
It's morning. Talk.
Cute kid. Seems familiar.
Do you recognize that sound for the landing?
Yeah, it's the Jetsons car.
Exactly.
What do you want?
Ah, good sir. I suppose you could say I'm looking for technical support.
Now, do we have a visitor?
Yes, sir.
Now, take his coat.
I don't have a coat.
He doesn't have a coat, sir. And I believe this is the man who basically killed our entire race.
Now,
Don't take it.
don't take his coat.
You see, I recently
Show him.
acquired what you people refer to as Dragon
Dragon Ball.
Balls, but I'm having trouble getting them to do what I want.
Did you try working the shaft?
Classy.
Now, what does he want?
He's asking how to use the Dragon Balls.
Did you tell him to work the shaft?
Yes, Lord Guru.
Good work,
Good work,
Dale.
Dale.
I have the distinct impression you're going to be difficult.
Well, sir, if you're having a problem with our customer support, you can call 1-800-EAT-A.
Eat a dick.
We don't even have those.
Okay, this is getting
Because Namekians are asexual.
Call 1-800-EAT-A.
We don't even have those.
Okay, this is getting ridiculous. What is that?
Oh, God. Natural light.
Good lord,
That's
I
me
was led to
every
believe your
single day I
species
gotta go
survived
to work.
entirely on water. How is he so fat?
Oh, hello. I'm Super Kami Guru, and I'm the guy who's not judging you on your appearance.
Well, my name is Frieza, ruler of most of the known galaxy. I'm here to offer you a deal. You give me the information I require, and I'll let the sporting young man live.
Please.
You ever have a friend or a relative that likes to talk shit, but at the same time, they want you to fix their mess for them? It's like, oh yeah, da, 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 da. And then you hide behind said person because you mouthy. This is one of those times.
I can gladly say
This is
that I don't know anybody. I don't have any friends like that, nor have ever been in that kind of situation. But if I ever do, God, if I have to clean up their mess, I'll clean it up, and then I'll beat the shit out of them afterwards. Be like, don't ever make
There
me
you
do
go.
that again.
Don't ever make me do that shit again. Exactly.
Don't make me clean up
Nail
your
isn't
mess.
afraid of you. He is the strongest of our race.
Oh, really?
Sir?
Yeah, Nail's gonna destroy your sorry ass. They wouldn't be able to air it on the news because it'll be
Because
so brutal.
You don't need a hype man some days, and this is one of those moments you did not need a hype man at all.
He's just being such a dick, just so he can be entertained at the idea that Nail's gonna get his ass whooped because he knows
course.
he's not gonna stand up stand a chance against Frieza.
Oh yeah,
at
he
all.
knows completely knows.
He's just doing this for shits and giggles.
Literally.
Sir, seriously?
Hush now. I'm speaking
for you.
Well then, if this is the only course of action available to me, I accept. I'll dispatch of this worm, and then I'll be back for you, slug.
Leave my brother out of this.
Sir, his power is overwhelming. I can also sense it's only a fraction of what he's capable of.
Nail, listen to me. You are Namek's #1 son, a prodigy child. You have been trained in the ancient ways. I believe in you.
You mean that, Lord Guru?
Yes, Nail. Now show him the staggering spirit of Namek and waste his smug ass.
Yes, sir.
That is such a Captain America speech. Like, I believe in you. Yes, Captain. Because you're about to go to war for this dude. Charismatic. Pumped you up.
If you get hit, hurt him back. If you get
Follow
killed,
me.
walk it off.
Exactly.
Fool. If I had trained him in the new way, he might have stood a chance. You have an interesting form and a surprisingly well-honed technique.
And you're purple!
I'm sufficiently impressed. You've held your own very well, but your form and grace will never compare to that of the illustrious Captain Ginyu!
You mean like this?
Oh, God! Is that what I look like? Jace, That isn't what I look like.
Did you notice that Captain Ginyu changed 2 color schemes?
Yeah. Purple and the red for the blush.
Dark purple. No, dark purple,
Oh,
lighter purple,
almost like a pink.
dark purple.
This?
Oh, God. Is that what I look like? Jace, that isn't what I
See?
look like, is it?
No, Captain, you look amazing.
No offense, but this is boring. Like, really boring. Like, listening to Gohan's piano recital boring.
I realize these poses in an effort to invigorate my men and raise morale. How
Yeah.
dare you mock them?
Well, I mean, it's just, I'm not even using half my power right now.
Ah, quite the substantial.
And I apologize for continuously pausing this. I'm pulling a Kaiser, but Goku, the people on this in this cartoon have way too many loose lips. Y'all like to give out way too much information. He didn't need to know all that at all. So, fuck.
substantial bluff, but a bluff and nothing more. I've witnessed your abilities firsthand, and I assure you that you're
Kaioken. See, they missed a chance to say Kaioken. Kaio what?
180,000. Huh.
Oi, Captain, isn't your max power level only 100? Yeah, 120,000. That's what I thought.
Is he gonna be okay?
Hey, the Captain? Yeah, he just does that sometimes.
All right, I'm back.
How you going, Captain?
How do you think?
Well, Captain, if you're getting stressed, you could always, you know.
Oh, Jace, this is hardly the time or the place. Besides, I did it in the pod on the way here.
And that concludes that cycle of joke.
Which I'm glad they stopped because
If you were paying attention, yeah. If you were paying attention to yesterday's episode or earlier this week, the Ginyu Force talks about when was the last time you relieved yourself in a stressful situation. And someone said 3 weeks. And then someone said, I did it on the trip here. And then Raccoon goes, Raccoon didn't even have enough room in his pod.
he would
in-
drown.
Intimating that he's hung like a horse. So now, Captain Ginyu did it on the way over here. So not only is this Namekian cave full of Krillin sperm, you got Ginyu Force ships that have space sperm. Because everything
Yeah.
is in space, right?
Yeah.
Space jizz.
Yeah.
I meant switch
Switch
bodies, sir.
Ah, yes, of course. On my scouter.
Hey, what are you doing with your head? Sir, you're supposed to do that to me.
Oh, but you see,
dear boy.
I did do it to you.
I don't understand.
Say no!
When you really think about it, that's a very suggestive move.
A little bit.
All the pause. All the pause. All the pause.
Oh, wow. What happened? Everything seems weird. Oh, hey, there's another me over there.
That sounds like something Goku would really say. Hey, that's
Oh,
another
hey, there's
me
another
over there.
me.
wonder if, oh,
Oh, and did you hear he said, I wonder? I guarantee you the next words would have been, I wonder how strong he is.
Yep.
weird. Oh, hey, there's another me over there. I wonder if,
See, because he stopped short, right? He's like, I wonder if, and then he's talking about the pain in his chest. I wonder if that's what he would have said, like, oh, I wonder if he's strong.
Oh, most definitely.
oh, my chest. What in the,
Oh.
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 Hey, Bulma, we're back.
How you doing? I bought a giant crab.
They make a special shampoo.
Look at Gohan's face. Look at Krillin's face. This is so 90s, early 90s anime. Like, you could just tell. Look at that.
For that, I hear. Ow!
Ah. Thoughts? Closing thoughts?
Quick thing about Captain Ginyu. Thank you, Toriyama,
Uh-huh.
for giving us the Ginyu Force, and thank you
Right.
for making Ginyu have a very fun gimmick. But
Correct.
fuck you for giving him that gimmick, because I hate fighting Ginyus in Sparking Zero. They always use that ultimate on me. It's annoying as fuck. Anyway, had to get it out the way. Had a lot of fun with this retro cartoon rewatch. Had a lot of fun reminiscing about our childhood, about cartoons, and also just toys I remember growing up with.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to the next episode. Still enjoying the run while it lasts.
Hey, we're all in this together at this point. We're here for the ride, right? We probably have another, I believe, about 38 more episodes to go. And we're
Just about.
coming up on the end of the 10-minute mark episodes. When YouTube only gave them 10 minutes, so they had to do a whole episode within a 10-minute time frame. So as we go later in the series,
it's probably going
we're
to be
gonna
like one
here-
episode.
It's going to be like an hour. So be prepared for that. I don't know when we're going to do this again. Maybe Thursday, because you know that I typically do a podcast at 7, and I'm already in podcast mode. So I may be around Thursday night to do a quick one. If not, just follow us on our social medias. I'm at Damon G Show. Shane's at Shane Bendy _straw, I believe.
Shane _Bendy_straw on Instagram.
Got it. On Instagram. And maybe I'll do another one this week. Maybe I won't. But quick plug, if you are interested in more of my work potentially, go on over to Big Gold Belt Media, where I will be uploading a couple more reviews that I've done. The last one I did was released earlier this week, called The Penguin Lessons. It is an interesting movie staked about how a penguin, a real life penguin, this is based on a true story, brought together not only just a town, but almost a country. And it was a fascinating watch, better than expected. But going over to Big Gold Belt Media, biggoldbelt.com, and look up Penguin Lessons Review, and you will see my last review. Or if you like anything in entertainment, feel free to visit us there as well. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Quick plug for me, I am at Damien G Reviews, youtube.com/Damien G. I'm slowly putting stuff up. I'm kind of expanding, not leaving Big Gold Belt. I know some people have asked me that. Am I leaving? No, I'm not leaving. I'm just segueing, much to my editor-in-chief's continued prodding, is for me to move on and to start doing my own stuff. That's why you're seeing more of me doing the retro. That's why it's live streaming on YouTube as well as on Twitch, twitch.tv/DamonG Show. So you'll be seeing a lot more reviews, and maybe me and Hoekage will just start doing conversation episodes on nerd culture, anything that strikes our fancy, things like that. So be on the lookout for that. Again, Damon G Show across the board. Shane _Bendy_straw on Instagram. And hope you guys are enjoying this as much as we are, because we are going to continue doing that thing.
Do the thing
that we're doing.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, continue doing the thing, or even better, the thing. We're doing the thing. We'll catch you next time, y'all.